I want to talk about the Heaboli, if I think I'm saying that right, but I'm not sure. HP88 high-end dash cam. And I'll give them credit for high-end, although the price is moderate. It is a good quality cam. In fact, it's the favorite one I've ever purchased, and I've bought a lot of these things. I have a lot of them sitting around here. But it's a real good quality camera. Well, it's 4K for the front camera, and the rear camera is 1080p. And I haven't hooked up the rear camera, but the rear camera doesn't need to find a separate power source like some of them do. You just plug it into the back of this camera, and they give you a long cable to do that, and put the rear camera in the back. So that's a 1080p camera. It has night vision as well. Both of the lenses have night vision. And it has a parking mode too. So your car is parked somewhere overnight or in a parking lot, this automatically comes on, and you can set the setting. If your car feels a bump at low or medium or high impact, it will automatically record. So that's a nice feature, and it's not an extra feature. It comes with it. And it also comes with a GPS recording your path, your route, with your vehicle following the route, so you can come back and play a map with your vehicle, tracing it and following the map the whole way. So that's a nice feature, and it's automatic. Everything comes on at default unless you set it off. So it has a lot of nice settings in here, and it was easy to hook up. I haven't hooked up the rear camera, as I said, but yeah, it looks pretty easy. It only requires a power source and just plug it into the camera. And the GPS is easy. That's the one that sticks onto the windshield. Now this is not a vacuum suction cup for your windshield. This actually has a double-sided stick pad that goes on the mounting bracket, and then you let that stick to the windshield. And that once that sticks, it's not coming off unless you take a razor blade or something to scrape that off. I know because when I mounted it, I mounted it slightly on an angle, and I didn't want to do that, but so I have to take it off and put it back on again, and it's hard to get off. So, and they send you a spare one of those mounting sticking pads. There's an extra one that comes in the kit. So it's got everything it needs with it, and I recommend it. Okay, it's good quality video. It has night vision, and well, it records at night. I guess infrared, but not infrared, but it records at night. It gives you a good quality image, and it has settings you can change. One is for license plate setting. I'm not sure what that is, but you can turn the GPS off and on or whatever. And but I give it 5 stars. I'd give it more if I had the option. But yeah, it's an excellent camera. So I say go for it. Again, it's Heaboli high-end dash cam, HP88. Well priced, and it's one of the best ones out there for value. Thank you for watching the video. I can't end this review without talking about the user's manual. Now, I start right out by saying this is actually the best user's manual that I have seen in one of these electronic pieces, especially coming from China. It's thick, comprehensive, it's all in English. Every page is here in English. Table of contents, interesting. And it covers every subject. As I said, it's comprehensive, detailed, and the English is good. They don't have a lot of English screw-ups as you usually see in many of these manuals. And many of them are just on one page and a half a page and have very little in there about the manual. But this covers every subject. So the manual itself gets 5 stars. I also must mention customer service. I've needed to contact customer service on several occasions, and I did so through email that they sent me email after I purchased the item and said if you have any questions or you need to contact me, just reply to that email, which I did, and they get back right away. I mean, they say within 12 hours, but it's certainly within 24 and usually less, depending on when you send it. If you send it early, you might get it back the same day. But I do get response, and they follow up. For instance, I first installed the camera on my windshield, but I didn't have it quite squared off. It wasn't really squared. So I needed to remove it and relocate it. But trying to remove it is another story. It's that little stickum pad that they give you with this, and they give you an extra one, which I use for the rear camera. But that little stickum pad really holds on. So when I put it in quite the on my windshield, not quite the proper orientation, I need to take it off, and I couldn't take it off. So I was afraid to damage something, so I knew I was going to have to get a razor blade and scrape that pad off, but it wouldn't be usable after that. So I sent them an email and asked them to send me an extra pad. And they first said, well, there's an extra one included in the kit. And then I let them know that, yeah, I've used that for the camera, or I plan to use that one for the rear camera, because I'm not going to put any screws in my Mercedes to hold the rear camera on. I'm going to stick it on. So they wrote back and says, yeah, they'll send me extra pads. So they said they've issued them, so I should get them in the next day or two. I don't know. I should get them quickly. But that's good. I mean, the response has been good. I asked them about the discrepancy in the SD card. On the write-up about this camera on Amazon, it says that the maximum capacity for an SD card for this camera is 128 gigabyte. And the manual also says in the specifications 128 gigabyte is the maximum capacity for an SD card. But on Amazon it says 256 gigabyte in the ad for this camera. It says the maximum capacity for the SD card is 256 gigabyte, which I'd rather have if you're going to go on a long trip. As a trip that I took last week to Florida was about 450 miles each way. And I got the entire trip there and back on one SD card, 128 SD card. And it filmed the entire round-trip ticket on that SD card. And if I take a longer trip, I want a longer storage capacity. So, or just using it around home, I don't want to have to keep changing the SD card. So, or you can take it out and remove it, reformat it and all that if you want. You can copy the files that you want on there, and it has a menu in the back. So, it can do all that as well. But if it can use 256 gigabyte card, that's what I want to put in there. So they wrote back and said, yes, this is an updated version. They have updated this camera to accommodate 256 gigabyte card, so that I can put one in there. So I will be putting a 256 gigabyte SD card in this camera, and that's what I wanted. That's one of the things that attracted me to the camera in the write-up, because it has all the other features, and other cameras have those same features. Not all of them, but some of them do. And this, as I mentioned, is the most value for the money, number of features that you get. So now, knowing that I can put a 256 gigabyte card in there, that even makes it more worth it. So I can't say any more about this camera. I'm glad I bought it. Here you can see the camera, of course, on the front dashboard, and now you can see the GPS map following the movement of the car along the trail of the map that I'm taking on the GPS. There's an S and an E. I guess S is for start, E is for end. That's for each individual file that I've created here. I'm using 3-second recording on the loop. So there's a lot of videos in there. Each cover, I guess, 3 seconds of driving. And when I play back, it automatically switches to the next video. You don't want to see all this, nothing here interesting to see, except I want you to see how the GPS maps work with the camera. And now I display it on playback. I'm playing it back on my PC at full screen here. So you can see it has down at the bottom of the screen, there's a thermometer there in miles per hour, a speedometer there on miles per hour, and you can see that we're traveling at 60 miles per hour, and over here on the left corner it'll show that the GPS coordinates, north and west, as well as the speed, 105 kilometers per hour, or over here about 70 miles per hour, and then there's a north-south compass on the far right corner in the bottom. And underneath the map you'll see the listing of all the individual files that the camera saved to the SD drive in the camera, and then it quickly switches to the next film. Now it didn't pick up speed. The playback is increased in speed, and I'm not sure why. But the speed is still the same at 112 kilometers per hour, 104 to 103. And the speed goes to 0 when it changes the video film. Right now, on the miles per hour dial down in the lower right, and then it jumps up after a second, and it's back up to 65 or 70 miles per hour here. I believe the speed limit on this road is 70 miles an hour. 103 kilometers per hour. The map is moving. And I want to show you this. You can switch to satellite map. There we go. Now it's on satellite map, which I like that feature. And let's see what labels are. Labels are on. It's names of the highways and the route numbers and so forth. You can see I'm driving along Route 81. And the temperature, 72 degrees Fahrenheit and sunny. Coming back from Florida, I believe I'm in Alabama here. And you can zoom in, and you can also have a street view. I'm driving along the highway. I don't know if I want to stand there in the street view. I'm not even sure what that'll do when you're moving. I guess when you stop somewhere, you can get a street view of fire department. Zoom in. Zoom out. Get a full view of the map where you're coming from. I'm coming from Panama City, Florida, driving north back through Alabama. And that's what the map is showing. Okay. And you can see the moving map from the route returning. Very nice feature. I really like this. And the software for this comes with the package, and you can download it, install it on your PC, and then just upload the files to your PC from the camera and run the software that comes with it that displays your camera files and the GPS along with it. That's all you have to do. Okay, that's enough of that. Very nice feature. And that, this is the file that all of the camera recorded all of these files. A lot of files in there. I took the 3-minute version. They're all MP4 files. It's high quality 4K video, and so you can pretty much pick and see which file you want to see. I can put these on extra large or change the size, and you can see which ones, if you want to save, what you want to delete. Now let me see something here. I can read that license plate number on that car. I'm not going to read it to you, but I can see it. I can also zoom in on that if I want to, or get a better look at it. Yeah, I think everybody can see the license plate number. I don't want to do that. So, well, it don't matter. I mean, you see license plate numbers of cars anywhere as long as you're driving. Don't mean anything. So, this is somewhere in Alabama. So you can look at the video individually, or you can look at them all and then pick the ones you want. And zoom in on it. You read license plates, and the rear camera is supposed to be just as good as the front camera in terms of quality. It is also a 4K camera for the rear. No, it's a 1080p. That's right, 1080p camera for the rear, which is, you know, about as good. It's slightly different, smaller resolution, but, and the rear camera will show, if you have that hooked up, I did not have it hooked up, will show as a picture-in-picture on this. So you would have left-hand top corner would be a view of the rear camera if I had it hooked up, but I don't. And you can, on the device itself, you can slide the screen from left to right to switch between rear camera and front camera. And you can also slide from right to left to switch from camera view to GPS view, map, and show the map and GPS and you traveling along that road or whatever route you're taking. And very nice features. So, okay, that's it. This video's run kind of long. Oh, no wonder. Looks like I thought I was at the traffic light an awful long time, but I'm not playing the video. There we go. Starting to move. Okay. So, a lot of files, as you can see. It saves them all. And 128 gigabyte holds a lot of video files. Okay, thank you very much.